Today, let's have a look at creating subharmonic content from a single sound source and then processing it to create some interesting and one-of-a-kind rhythmic synth motions. The idea was inspired by Loopop's video on emulation of subharmonic synthesis of the Moog Subharmonicon using a single oscillator and the Make Noise maths linked below. So let's start at the sound source, and for that we'll be using the Make Noise DPO. So I'll take the saw output of the first oscillator, but I'll use a stackable cable so I can get 2 instances of it. You'll see in a second why. So we use the output of the first oscillator and then we drive it into the trigger input of the first channel of maths, and then we use the multiple of that one to drive it into the trigger input of the fourth channel of maths as well. Now, the output, the sum output of the channel of both channels of maths goes into the input of the DFAM, because we'll be using it to emulate the subharmonics. So what we do is basically take the output, we use the DFAM input, and then using the sequencer of the DFAM, we use the pitch and the velocity output, which are these 2 lines, to control the subharmonic content of the channels. So the sound that we hear is not the actual oscillator, but it's these 2 channels are creating the oscillators themselves. What do I mean? Well, let's have a listen. So first channel would be this. So what you're hearing is not the pitch that is being sequenced, but rather a subdivision of the pitch. So the subharmonics of that pitch. So this is the channel 1. Now let's bring the channel 2. So you can quickly see how you can create some interesting chordal ratios using just the subharmonics of an oscillator. The actual pitch of the oscillator is higher, but we don't hear that here. It's just controlling these 2 channels. Now, DFAM also has 2 oscillators of its own, so we're going to add those 2 into the mix as well. So let's just hear the DFAM oscillators on their own. Let's start with the first oscillator. So it's a constant pitch, and then the second one is a 5th above. So now we can turn up the tempo a little bit and we'll see what we get. So we're getting the dual benefit of the DFAM here. The one is that both of these sequencer lines are sequencing the subharmonics that are coming out of the Make Noise maths. And then the second one is actually using the Moog ladder filter for that really thick and warm sound. So let's bring it all together. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like and let me know what kind of videos you would want to see from me in the future. Thanks.